Hey, in this video, I'm going to share a pretty simple and straightforward rule that relates to happiness, particularly in the context of organizations and community, but I think it's quite powerful. And I sometimes call it the 1000x rule. And it started out when I was actually training a military team in the Army National Guard. So this is a team of like 20 or so commanders that has oversight over something like 5,000 to 7,000 people. And we're getting after this question of like, culture change, changing quality of life or attitudes or things like that is pretty hard. It's complicated, especially in an organization. It's like, how do we have an impact on 7,000 people? I'm one person. I can't go out and shake 7,000 people's hands or give them a hug or cheer them up, right? That would be many full-time jobs worth of time. So what if we think about it like this? Like, you can probably have a pretty positive and maybe even profound impact on a small handful of people in a given day. Maybe 4 or 5 people even, let's say. And maybe it's not huge, but it's just like a nice interaction, or you have a small team meeting and you do something that makes people feel good, you give a compliment, recognize someone, anything like that. That's probably doable, right? And so you say, okay, well, if you think about, let's just say 5 or so per day, that would be 25 people in a week. To keep our math simple, we'll just call it 20. So say one person, you can, meaningfully create some positive interaction with about 20 people in a given week without too much effort. And I said, okay, well, there are 10 people in this room, in this command team. And let's say you do that every week. That's 50 weeks in a year. So just right there, what you have is 10 people times 20 interactions in a week per person, times 50 weeks in a year. That's 10,000 people that you have just impacted. That's pretty incredible. So I said, what if we were to extend that out? Let's think about like University of Alabama. That's where I went to school. I someday would love to do strategy work and consulting and education stuff for them. But same thing, right? They have a ton of, I think they have 30 or 40,000 students. So let's say I worked with a team of 30 administrators and professors, and we apply that same calculus. So each one's going to have some sort of positive impact on 20 students in a week, even if it's really minor. 50 weeks in a year, you have 30 times 20 times 50, which for you math nerds at home is 30,000 students. Boom, you just reached all of your students. And if you want to extend this out to the community, think about this. So let's say, and this is something I advocate for, let's say that we were to teach a course on happiness in schools. And not like some big philosophical thing, but just like, hey, here's some practical psychology for managing your emotions and mental health. We'll use my school where I went to high school as an example. There's 100 kids in a class. 100 times 20 times 50 weeks in a year. That is 100,000 people that you could be impacting indirectly with that, which is pretty much a small city's worth of people. So in all those cases, what you saw was I did this little thing of, say, a handful of people each day, 4 people a day, right? In a work week, that is 4 times 5 is 20, 50 weeks in a year. 20 times 50 is 1,000. So any one of these small, like even just watching this video or watching some of my other videos maybe that teach principles for happiness and stuff, you can just multiply that out by 1,000 over the course of a year. And it's not that big of a jump then to see the impact of small interventions, whether you're in an organization. Again, let's say we train 100 frontline managers and supervisors. There's 100,000 people. In a school or a community, let's say you have a school of 1,000 people, right? Where you multiply that out 1,000 times 1,000, that's 1,000,000 people. So the message of this video, and I get this is not extremely scientific or mathematically rigorous, but I think it's this hidden power of the 1000x rule, that if you just have a few of these small positive interactions throughout the course of your day, that those can really compound over the course of a year, and then of course over multiple years to have a fairly large impact on any organization or community. So I hope that inspires you maybe to show up a little bit differently in all your interactions and makes you appreciate the power of these interventions that are meant to support happiness and flourishing. So if you want more videos on the science of happier work, as well as how to bring this into your personal life, of course, that's what my channel is all about. You can check out this video as well that YouTube suggests that you'll like. And that's all for now. So thanks for watching and wishing you happiness and success.